Hey, this is Charles Onyett with IGN, and I'm playing AirMech. This just recently was put on Steam's new release list, although it's been playable in beta form for a while. It's a free-to-play kind of hybrid RTS/Dota style game inspired by the very old Herzog 2. And what you can do is, well, I guess before I jump into a match, I was just going to give an overview of the ways you can customize yourself. You have your AirMech here. There are a bunch of different types. You can put a pilot in there for statistical bonuses. You have customization options, and you can also pick which units you want to bring into battle with you. There are quite a few things. Hey, Minecraft Creeper. That you can pick up here and unlock. There is a microtransaction system in the game, although you also earn in-game credits. So you could unlock these through just playing the game. You don't necessarily have to pay real money. So I'm going to jump into a game, and the way you can play is you have PvP options and PvE options. I'm just going to go solo versus an AI right now because I think if I was actually playing with somebody else and trying to show the game off, they would not be very happy with me. So here is my build options. So I have kind of an attack bike here, a medium armored jackal truck. I have a patcher that's kind of a healing unit. I have mines, I have soldiers, and I have tanks and turrets. So the goal of the game, this is my main base here, and I just built a tank, which I picked up, and I can drop the tank. I'm going to put it right back down on the ground, and there's my tank. So the goal of the game is, in addition to building units here, and actually I'm just going to queue up, you can see some tanks along the side there. So they're just going to start building. So that is like the RTS-style gameplay you can see there. And then I can roam around a map and find different bases all over the place. And I can take those over if I have infantry units. And the goal is to, oh god, that's the enemy base. The goal is to blow that up. So I just, you know, like in a game, an RTS game or a Dota game, you know, you're just trying to move across the map and destroy the enemy structures until they're no longer there. And also, the reason I'm mentioning Dota is because your main base will spew out these guys, infantry units. So I can actually, whoops. Oh, also I can turn into a mech. So if I run over these guys, I can actually pick up a few until I'm kind of full on infantry units and then drop them off near bases, and then they will actually capture bases. So right now we're kind of fighting over this central base structure. If I were to drop all my guys here, they're probably going to die. But that's essentially what I'm trying to do, is just help along the automated stream of workers in order to capture as many bases as possible. When I return to base, I can heal myself. You can see my health going back up. And yes, as you've noticed, I can fire in the air. I'm just moving around with WASD. You can move around pretty quickly. And then if I hit shift, I turn into a mech. And that helps. I cannot attack land units, at least with this AirMech, unless I'm in mech form. So I can turn into a mech and shoot stuff, shoot the enemy units, shoot the enemy AirMechs. So you can get in AirMech battles if I'm able to actually find one. I don't know if they're flying around here. I don't see them. Oh, there's one. So yeah, you can get into battles with those guys, but basically a lot of your role, and you can also power up. So I have level up the effectiveness of my creep spawns. I'll do that once. Here, passive ability for stronger armor. Sure, why not? This unlocks a power sword and shield for my AirMech, so I can engage in melee combat. And this gives me homing missiles. So I've done all of that. I've spent all of the points, and then I will level up as I continue to do stuff. So now here's my shield and sword, you can see, and I can use that to fight in melee range if I didn't want to use my guns. I'm going to go back to my plane form. But a lot of the function of what I'm going to be doing here is picking up units and bringing them to the front lines of battle to kind of turn the tide so that we can actually capture these structures. So I would like to bring, let's say, I have 3 tanks ready here. So there's my tank. It just popped out of my base. Not picking up the second one for some reason. So I'm just, maybe I held the button incorrectly. But so I'm going to drop this over here. And then my tank is just going to start attacking. That's not really going to do much by itself. So really what I want to do is kind of make a offensive line to be able to really push forward here. So I'm going to come back bring this guy to the front lines and see if I can do this a little bit more effectively. I can also give orders to units that I have. So I have an attack order that I have picked up. So I have an attack, I have capture building, I can set them on patrols or link them together. So if I hit attack, the tank will just kind of roll out and just start attacking things. Now, the limitations on the RTS aspects of the game, I can't just, drag select a bunch of units and tell them to move in. I can't issue basically mass orders for units. I have to do it one at a time, and that's intentional. That's not, oh, hey, that's not the developers saying, oh, hey, we forgot to do this. That's just basically the way the game was designed to be played, because it's supposed to be your control is kind of in these little chunks, so that you can't basically play it exactly like an RTS, because if you could do that, then it would have sent, let's see if I can take out helicopter. There we go. I managed to kill an enemy AirMech. So now you can see most of the defenses around this base have been taken out. My tank, I have it on attack mode. Oops. Let's see if I can blow up this tank. You can also, just blow up units as you see fit, but it does tend to be more effective to go around and really, if I wanted these guys to maybe try and capture this base faster, I can pick them up and immediately send them in. You can see this base lighting up blue, and there we go. We've actually taken over that location, so I can drop my tank here, and now we've made progress on the map. Now, the enemy can still take that back, so that's not a permanently captured structure. So I need to drop my units all over the place and really control so I can take control of this territory, because they're just going to keep coming, and the enemy AirMechs will also drop off units here as well. So I'm going to bring up my build menu instead of just repeat order there, and I would like to build some turrets. Now, turrets are a little bit more expensive. You can see my cache here, and I'm just repeating that build order to fill this up, so I can drop. I have 4 tanks on the ground, but the turrets are obviously nice, and then maybe after that I want to build a patcher so that I actually have a repair unit out there. You can see they're just bringing in units to try to take this down. But since this is right in the middle of the map, this is an important point to take and hold. So I would like to do that. And hopefully, oh, there, okay, so I leveled up, I got an additional skill, and now I can power up one of my abilities up here. I think, well, I just went with homing missiles. So if I do encounter an enemy AirMech like so, I can fire missiles at it and kill him. And then, I mean, you do respawn. It's not permanent death, so there's a little bit of, you have to wait a while, like in DotA, if you get killed, and then you'll just respawn. But of course, while you're sitting there waiting for yourself to respawn, the enemy is doing exactly what I did, and you can see how fast you can actually deploy a force. This guy just keeps coming in here. Let's see, missiles, and I got him before. I mean, you have to get them before they get back to base, because once you get back to base, you do heal pretty quickly. So you definitely have an advantage if you stick around your base while attacking. And I haven't been picking up any units here. So I do have the turret, and now I have my repair car. So I'm going to drop that here, and he is just going to sit there and repair my guys, so making me a lot sturdier. For defending against attacks. There, I took both of them out, and actually I just leveled up again. So now I'm going to boost my missiles, because that seems to be serving me pretty well there. And I'm going to queue up a few different units. Let's get some Jackals in production. I only have production maximum of 3, so you can see these limitations involved here. Okay, so now I have 2 Jackals in my plane, and I'm going to head over to a different base, so this one down here, which they've captured, and see if I can actually make an impact here. So I'm going to try to attack from the backside. I'm going to switch over to my mech form, land on the ground so that I can actually blow things up, and see if I can take out some of these defenses. You can see some of our automated units are actually making their way down here anyway, and I'm going to see if I can take out this. I mean, this is just AI. Obviously, you can see this would be quite different in a PvP battle where they're not quite as dumb as as the enemies that I'm killing. But we are starting to make a little bit of progress here. So in order to attack, since I already have an entrenched defensive position up here, I'm going to build a couple of turrets. And then once they're actually in operation, and I'm just going to leave these guys at the back of the base so we do have some fire support. Once these turrets are actually up and functional, I'm going to pick them up and bring them over here and drop them right in front of the base, and see if they can really have an impact there. Now, they actually may get blown up because I just dropped a single one over there, so that probably wasn't a good idea. But if you're playing you know, with another live player, this is the type of thing that you would want to coordinate, like, you know, Hawk is doing right now. Or I can just pick this guy up off the ground and have him sit behind the turrets and actually repair them. So there you go. Now I've reinforced my defenses here. I've done it all pretty quickly, so you do need to be very fast about, you know, determining what the enemy is doing and reacting to it appropriately. So now I have some decent defenses here. I don't know if that's quite enough. Here, I'm going to switch over my forms and help out in the ground fight for a little bit. I don't know if that's quite enough to completely defend against their attacks. You see they have 3 lights lit up on this base, but this base is now neutral. Here's one guy coming in, but I would like to accelerate the process. Oops, that was the wrong key. That was my fault, of these guys coming in. So I'm going to pick up these 3, immediately transport them over here, and looks like they got control of that again, unfortunately. So now everyone's just attacking it, but I'm going to see if I can get more infantry over. If I just hold spacebar while I'm flying over stuff, I will immediately pick it up, and then once I have it, I can just bring it in here. And that's actually 4 if they can all get in. Okay, so now I have control of this base. Now I'm going to move over here, pick these guys up since they're on the backside, and set them on the front so they can actually help out with defense. And from this base, I am now going to open up my queue and build a couple patchers so that I can reinforce the guys that are currently defending and just set him down. And now he's just going to, that was actually probably not a very good place to set him down, but, you know, you can always reorganize. Again, you can set patrols and things like that if you don't like exactly where units are positioned. If you, you know, set a defensive unit actually in front of the offensive units, that's not something you necessarily want to do. This is also anti-air if I were more interested in using that. But let's build some tanks. So they don't like this. The enemy is saying, stop taking all of my stuff, and actually they're doing a terrible job of defending there, so I'm going to come in and help out a little bit. Then I'm going to switch over to plane and pick up. I have 2 tanks now, so I can tell them to, let's see, where do I want to attack next? I mean, eventually you do want to move in. Whoa, God. That's a lot of missiles. I'm going to go ahead and heal up. But you can make this kind of, you know, it's this the gameplay is a series of attack, capture, entrench, and bump forward. And essentially by, you know, making effective use of that, you're able to take over more structures. And I'm going to speed around and see if I can pick up some more infantry units. Now, I mean, I don't have to fly around the environment like this and pick up these guys to capture these structures. I could just build them as well. I just, since they're already running around, might as well make use of them. So now I have 2 lights on there. Again, they're fighting back. I don't know if my, oh no. No. You do have a little bit of control over avoiding things. I mean, if you're quick, you can, you know, you have quite a bit of agility within your form. So I'm going to go back to base and heal. Of course, I can heal and fuel up kind of wherever I want. But I now have my new tank. You can actually pick up units you build. They seem to just show up at whatever structure you happen to fly over, which is convenient. But it's a really cool game. I mean, I've only played it for a little bit. But it's fast. It's pretty interesting in the ways that you can move around the map, attack and defend, and it's really exciting. And it's free. So if you haven't played AirMech yet, I leveled up. I would certainly recommend giving it a shot.